how this is going to work. Purple, you and I having a little spell for Holden. Let's go there. You're listening to the Saturday Rub. And for McDonald's, be under no illusion. This is why Triple M rock football. The interview.
Well, you rack off, JB.
This is, well, Spud, if this is a third strike, you're out.
No, I won't be out.
Let me promise
What,
you
out?
Yep, out.
No.
If there's a third strike, out.
Let me promise this. If it's a third strike, I'm out.
You are as
I'm
well.
off you and out.
I reckon
Out,
spell.
Spud. So this
Give
is
me
your
a
last
spell.
roll of the dice.
I'm with you. I'm with you now.
Hey, mate.
I'm with you.
Gaz,
What?
I'm like that Monty Python film at the moment.
Yes.
No arms, no legs.
Right.
But I'll bite someone's kneecap off. I'll come back.
I
be
think
back.
you should, though, let Danny do it by
No
himself.
way.
Even though you're
Don't
allowed in on
tip,
the interview,
Gaz.
unlike myself.
Don't tip into that
And you.
trap, Gaz.
I'm going
Gaz.
to let him do the majority.
No
No, let him
way,
do it all.
no.
In fact, come
no.
with me and Jim. We're going to go get a coffee.
Sorry.
Gary, I'm handing over to you.
Good. Stand aside, because this is really about the greatest footballer of the modern era, maybe the greatest footballer of all time, who has got a unique relationship with you, Spud, and they've played many, many years under with each other, and Plugger has played under you. So on this occasion, it's not something you do often, but we're going to hand it over to you to introduce the great man.
Well, guys, sometimes in life you have to face your own demons, and obviously when Plugger was inducted at the St Kilda Hall of Fame,
You went with a line.
I went with a line that, and I couldn't quite get it
You
out
didn't
because of
know
our friendship and the memories that
Got
we had
emotional.
there. So this guy is the Don Bradman of the AFL football. There's no doubting that. He was born in Ballarat, Gas.
Yep.
He played the North Ballarat Roosters, which he's very proud. He played 281 games, kicked 1,360 goals at 71%. That's when there was no Etihad, no Waverley. We
Muddy
played at
grounds.
Waverley, Moorabbin, Whitten Oval,
Yep.
Windy Hill, you name it. Just go through a little bit of his CV. I know he'd be
Well,
embarrassed
not
for
too
me
much,
doing
because he
this.
mightn't stay on the phone for too long.
Played state games with you guys, sixth, EJ Whitten medal, the great day in 95.
Dominated.
Only full forward ever winner Brownlow, the AFLPA 87, 4-time Coleman medalist, 5-time All-Australian, 2-time St Kilda BNF, 127 goals in 17 games in 91. Best and fairest at St Kilda, Australian Football Hall of Fame, Sydney Team of the Century, St Kilda Team of the Century, and 2 weeks ago, Gaz, was inducted as a legend of the Hall of Fame. I welcome Plugger. How you going, big fella?
How you going, Spud?
Going well, mate. How'd you go after the night with your family? You got on the KTM and went for about a 10-day hike across Alice Springs to Byron.
Yeah, I was actually out of there pretty quick. I was up early the next day. Actually, we had a bit of a late one there with Cal and Dunks. We ended up having a few sherbies there, as you do. And, I was on the bike early the next morning. I ended up riding up, just south of Alice Springs. I was there on Saturday night, and we took off from there, and, we made our way across to Byron Bay, and about 7,500 Ks we did in about 9 days. So, it was a good ride, mate. We're getting planning the next one already.
And it wasn't sort of just by sheer chance that you pulled up with a ute with a big KTM motorbike on it at Crown before the big night?
Well, mate, the thing is, when I pulled up out the front there was nowhere to park the big van. They wouldn't let me. I couldn't get downstairs, mate. She was too high.
And
So she got pride of place right out the front, I think, where James Packer parks.
and that's
Get out of the
fair-
way, James. I've got to put the van in here, I said.
and that's fair enough too. What about the night, mate? You must have been wrapped with have your family there and your mother and father, your sisters, and more importantly, your beautiful wife and your 4 daughters.
Mate, it was great, yeah. The youngest two, they'd never they'd never been anything like that, and the oldest two, well, they were only youngsters when I was still playing, so it was good. It was great to have them all there. Fantastic. I don't think the bride's actually been to a function since the Brownlow in 1987, so she hadn't been for a while either, mate. So it was good to drag her along there. She enjoyed it, and of course the oldies, mum and dad, 2 sisters, and they were there. Everyone had a great night. It was very special, Spud. It was really good.
Hey, Plugger, great to talk to you. I've never seen Spud more nervous, mate, about a single interview in his whole burgeoning media career. He's like a cat on a hot tin roof.
That's all right, mate. We go back a long ways, me and Spud, and we've had some great times. We played a lot of footy together. There's a lot of great memories there, and been good buddies all the way through.
He was a bit flat you didn't mention him in the speech at the Hall of Fame. He still hasn't got over that.
Mate, I'll tell you that, like for a week or two, I was thinking about what I was going to say, and you go up there with the best intentions, and mate, it just nothing come out how it was meant to. I don't think I forgot everything I was meant to say, and said things I probably shouldn't have, and what have you. But really, at the end of the day, like I know I mentioned some of the great fullbacks that I did play against, but you know, in the light of day, mate, there's no doubt. If you ask Jason or you ask Gary Ablett or these other fellas that played on Spud, that they will tell you that he was up there with the very best of them. And I think I only ever seen Spud get a hiding on one occasion, like a bad one. I think it was BT. Early on in Spud's career at the MCG, am I right, Spud?
No, you're right, mate. He kicked three in the first half, and Steve Perry, you remember Steve was good mate.
I do, yeah.
BT, and Steve said, look, BT's a little bit timid. Next time he goes to the ball, give him one behind the ear roll. So he marked the ball, kicked the goal, then he decided to strangle me. So he kicked
but that could have been like,
84 it was, mate.
84, yeah. And that is the only time I ever seen, a game like that where Spud probably, what you call a bit of a hiding, I guess, you know what I mean?
I wimped it.
No, but other than that, mate, I mean, I stood up the other end on plenty of occasions, mate, and you acquitted yourself very admirably, Spud.
Hey, Plugger, Spud was telling me that you were a man of few words, but you always knew you're in the corner. But when it came to a Hawthorn game, you were always interested in what was happening up the other end with our good mate Piggy Dunstall, and you'd wander over to him before the game and say, "Are you on today, Spud? Are you on? You ready to go?" Is that right?
Mate, look, it was a great many years. Like going up against Bunghole, it was just a great rivalry. I mean, there's no animosity between us. We're mates. But I think we kicked each other along year after year. It was one of them things. I don't know about him, but I know I was always keen to see how many that he'd kicked, on the Saturday or whenever. I always had. He was a long way in front of me there for a while, so I was always trying to keep in touch with it a bit. But yeah, look, when we played Hawthorn, I'd always be saying to Spud, mate, hey, you got to have a big one today, mate. Keep him quiet, And you know what he did, mate? He did. And if you ask Jason, I'm sure Jason would tell you that he was a great competitor.
Now, you're on the farm, mate. Spud tells me you run a few head of cattle. I'm thinking of going into the cattle business. What can you tell me about it?
Keep out of it, mate. Nah, mate. Nah, it's at the moment, if you're selling cattle, you'd be doing very well. But if you're trying to buy, mate, you got no hope. The prices have been very good, but she's too up and down for me, mate.
Bit of Black Angus. What are you running up there?
Yeah, run a few Angus, run a few Hereford Cross, mate. Anything that eats grass, mate, and can get fat,
Have you ever had much rain up there, player?
We've had plenty, Spud, yeah. We've had heaps. I reckon the 15 years of being is probably the wettest winter we've had, so it should, if we get the right weather, it'll obviously set us up real good for spring. Should be a cracker year. The prices should stay good for a while now, I'd say.
Now, I saw a picture, Plug, of your beautiful wife and your four gorgeous girls there when you were here in Melbourne a couple of weeks ago. I'm not sure I'd be the brave boyfriend if I wandered home with one of your young girls. How's that go?
Look, at this stage, I mean, I don't want to speak too soon, but I'm a bit lucky probably at this stage that only one of them seems to have acquired the company of a male friend, which for some reason they do keep a little bit of distance. But
so, mate, how did he go knocking on the door the first time?
I think he's only been there home once, or when I've been there anyway. But they park out the end of the road, I've noticed a bit. And when they see the car coming, they do a bit of a scramble, I think. So, but you know what? Hey, I just got to remember back and think what you're doing at that age, mate. And I think, just keep driving for Christ's sake.
Yeah, we won't go down that road, mate.
Hey, you watch much footy, Plugger, or not?
Not a great deal. I'm actually up at the netball, the state age championship. My third daughter, Steph, she's playing in these days. I've had a couple of games already this morning, won a couple of games, so she's going pretty good. A little bit different than sitting at the MCG, mate. I'll give you the tip, but anyway.
Yeah, no, I understand where you're coming from. Just if of the modern day player, I know you're saying you're not seeing a lot of it. Is there anyone that you would sit down with a beer and just grab Paul Kelly and say, "We don't mind having a look at this bloke go around"?
Mate, if you're going to sit down with a beer with Paul Kelly, you want to have about 30 of them to fill him up. But look, mate, I think I said on the night, there was a couple of years there when Geelong were just incredible. When young Gary Ablett, and there was Jimmy Bartell, Moons, Stevie Johnson. Mate, I love watching Stevie Johnson. Yep. That team was incredible to watch. I think it was, 05, 06, 07 or something about then.
Yep.
They were fantastic, mate. I used to watch them all the time, and they were a great side to watch. You know, they're great midfielders. But yeah, look, I got to like him for Stevie Johnson, mate. I just think he's a bit loose and he's good. You know.
Plugger, what about the art of goal kicking? There was no, as I said, there's no greater goal kicking than yourself at 70%. Do you think that part of the game's improved, or maybe the players spend a bit too much time looking at the computer and having a meeting, and instead of getting out there and doing what they're paid to do?
Yeah, look, I got my theories on it. Like, whenever I do watch footy, it is. I don't want to sound, you know, what I'm saying is they do seem to miss goals that they should be kicking. Is that a fair comment?
Yep.
And what, mate, basically, I think really what I think it gets down to is a lot of these blokes they're just thinking of, they've got too many things going on inside their head instead of thinking about actually what they're doing. I see them counting steps. I see them, you know, just doing all these different things when it really shouldn't be rocket science, mate. It should be just natural kicking action. There's no perfect kicking action. Everyone's different. And mate, it's, you know, like, I just think there's got too much going on inside their heads, mate. I think they're overtrained with it, you know.
How would you go under the lid, Plugger? I mean, as Spud said in the opening, you're at Moorabbin, you're knee deep in muck, you're going out to the Windy Hill where it's blowing a gale. These blokes are in a ground with a roof on it.
Yeah, mate, they don't even get any mud on their knees these days, do they? Like, mate, and Spud will tell you, some of them days back at Moorabbin, mate, it wasn't just wet, Spud, was it?
No, we were groundsmen there for a while, mate. We were told to water the bloody thing, weren't we?
Yeah, I think they did have a bit of trouble with the irrigation system there for sure, mate.
Plugger, as an opposition team going to Moorabbin, that was the least of our concerns. It was Burns, Cunningham, Lockett, Frawley. Wasn't a great place.
It was a pretty wild bunch, wasn't it, really? But,
hey, mate.
It was great fun, mate. A lot of great memories. Great fun.
Well, we've had great fun today, mate. We've had a lot of fun with Spud suggesting he's going to get you on. But it is a privilege to be able to talk to you tonight. And this mate of yours is doing marvellous things in the footy media, and he's back at the Saints, and he's having a big impact there.
Mate. Good to hear, mate. And, yeah, thanks very much for the invite to come on, mate, and all the best, and we'll catch up soon.
We'll catch you for a beer, mate. We'll get the big piggy Dunstall, and we'll get Gaz down. We'll have a can of lunch when you're down next time, champ. Thanks for coming on.
That'd be great. Good on you. Well done, fellas.
There it is. I'm telling you, Tony Lockett, who has had his kids' netball, he's put that aside for one reason only. Spud, I think you're within your rights to have a right of reply. You look a little bit emotional at the moment. What can you say?
Let me just have a think. Cop that, Maria! Cop that, JB, you skinny little prick! This is the greatest day of my life, other than marrying my beautiful wife and the birth of my three daughters, Chelsea, Danielle and Kelly. That's right up there! As Paul Roos said in 2005. Here it is! Here it is, Warren, you skinny bag of pus! You skinny, wormy, linguini arm prick, JB! You had doubts, Gaz!
I never doubted you, champ! I never doubted you, mate!
We played snake footy together!
What an interview! What an interview!
Stuck back, and that's what friendship's all about!
That's it, buddy. I'm right behind you, champ.
Plugger was watching his girls netball. He'd rather stick pins in his eyes to get in other media or network or talk to anyone. But he did it. You know he did it for me. Bloody well me. I was like Steve Bradbury. People would drop it off the surface. Teddy Wheeler, you had doubts, you little prick. Teddy Wheeler, the Wolfpack. I can hear you.
He's up and about
I
now.
didn't hear the
Spuddy.
tweets. I can hear you. Get on the tweets now, you bastards.
Take it rest, mate.
Got a nice head of steam up.
Jim,
Now what I'm going to do,
the Alf Brown, the media performer of the year, is put the dead.
Now I've come down.
Spuddy's won it.
You
got
got
it
it
down.
down. I'm going to come up with a competition now.
That was very good, Spud.
That
Spud.
bar is set very high.
Hey, let me, so before you go with this, let's just take a deep breath.
I am.
He was fantastic.
That was
there.
very good,
Unbelievable.
mate.
Brilliant, Spud.
No, he was.
He was.
And that
Yeah.
is due to you. He wouldn't be like that with anyone else. But
Said.
he was fantastic. So well done in all
Well
seriousness.
done, mate.
Nice.
Well done.
Now, and just on that, Warrior, the doubts are now out that we're mates.
You got an apology, you two?
Can I have an apology from you?
Yeah, I will say sorry.
JB?
Nothing from me. Well, twice you missed, so I'm giving you nothing.
Nothing from you means I've done okay. So I'll take-
I
What's
concede-
very
I
good,
concede,
Spud.
Spud.
Very
But
good.
what I'm going to do, JB,
Very good.
Yes.
I'm right off the bat,
Yep.
about once every 2 weeks,
Yep.
I want you, Warrior,
Yep.
you, Gaz.
Me?
No, not you at the moment.
I'm with you.
Yeah, you.
JB
Why does
and
he
Warrior.
get out of it?
No.
I'm with
He
you.
has
He's
to
done
do it,
bugger
whatever you're
all.
saying. Whatever you're about to say. He has
He's
to do
got
it.
to do
No,
it.
not yet though.
No.
JB and Warrior over the next
What are
month.
you getting out of it?
So every 2 weeks,
Yeah.
we've got to get someone on, and I know I've raised the bar and set the bar.
Oh, so,
like,
so take Plugger and try and raise it. Is that what you're saying?
well, it's you might have to dig up Elvis Presley to beat it. But JB
Nothing from me, Spud.
and Warrior, and no Jeff
like-
Poulters or we want
He
some.
gets a drive by Jeff Poulter.
We want some real, not Johnny Ralphs or these
Oh,
blokes.
Jeff
We've got to get high media guys,
Oh, no.
Well, what's his name? Letterman?
yeah, Leno.
Letterman over there in America.
Jay Leno.
Yeah, Leno.
Get him on our show.
I'll tell you what, you feel like?
Spud,
You come off the state game against South Australia, guys.
you've kept Kernahan and Nunn. I've kicked lazy 5. I thought I was
Yeah.
right. And there you can go and relax.
You
for the
know what
rest
you
of
want
the
to do
day.
now? You just want to grab a frothy.
Yeah. In
And
fact,
just
Spud,
knock the top
you and
off
I
it.
can head off. You two just do your best.
Actually,
We've delivered today.
I might knock the top off a couple of things, actually.
Poor old Jeff Poulter. Just listen to the interview of the century and cop the drive by.
Sorry, Jeff. Sorry, Pulse.
Very good man, Pulse.